While this Turkish delight may seem difficult to make, it's actually a snap. The elements baklava is known for are its sweetness, its nutrients, and the flakiest pastry. You can see any combination of nuts you like for the filling. We use walnuts, pecans, and almonds. Stack that between buttered layer of phyllo dough, bake, and smother it all in a sweet honey, and you've got homemade baklava. As with many foods, there are regional variations on the baklava theme throughout Europe. But one thing's for sure, it's delicious. So the first thing that you want to start by preheating your oven for 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to make sure the oven will be nice and hot. You're going to take 9 by 13 inch baking pan. You're going to butter on the bottom, then the sides. I'm starting with 16 tablespoons that I melt these with the unsalted butter in the microwave for 1 minute at a time. Gonna make sure to butter the pan for first, bottom and the sides. And we're going to set this aside for momentarily. Now to starting with for the Filo layer with nut filling, only 2 rows, you're going to need about 16-ounce box of the Phyllo Dough. I'm using one from the brand name Advance. You're going to need about only 20 sheets of those, and let it thaw according to directions on the back of the box that tells you. You can overnight into the refrigerator before you're going to take it out with the almonds, pecans, walnuts, and I'm going to use the one from pistachios. You can smell that. Hopefully it's going to taste great. I measure for each of the half a cup, which makes about 2 cups. I like to toast all the nuts onto the parchment paper lined with cookie sheets, and I spread it around, making sure it's nice and separate, and I toast it for 350 degrees also for 10 minutes. After it's 10 minutes, and I put it into the food processor and chop it on to get nice and ground, and put it into the mixing bowl. Now into these nuts, I'm going to sprinkle 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Just going to toss all around. I'm going to use the one with the handy dandy longest spoon. You can also use a whisk. I'm going to use it with the fastest way. That's the nut filling coated with cinnamon. By the way, you can use any variety of the nuts, which is the macadamia, peanuts, even the cashew. Alright, here's the nut filling. We're going to be ready to the first assemble. I'm going to open up for the first roll. So here's the tip. Make sure to cover the phyllo sheets with a damp cloth, or you can cover it evenly with some plastic wrap right onto the cookie sheet while taking your time to start for later. That allows to prevent for over drying. And now let's get to layer. You're going to stack 4 sheets of phyllo into a prepared pan. Has been brushed with on the sides and the bottom of the first butter. Has been already melted. I'm going to use the one with the unsalted butter. Let's start for the first sheet of the layer. Phyllo sheet number 1. Brush it with melted butter. Still easy for the 16 tablespoons. A second sheet, number 2. Brush it, butter. Phyllo number 3. Brush it with butter. Phyllo number 4. Brush it with butter. Alright, we got the 4 layers of the phyllo stacked over the sheet. You're going to sprinkle a half a cup of the nut filling onto the butter phyllo to spread it around. And it's going to sprinkle right to that for those 4 stacks of the sheet of phyllo. So it's going to get sticks right to this part. You can even use your hands to move that nut around. Once there any movable for the butter, we're going to repeat 4 more layers while finishing the rest of the phyllos and the last of the nut filling. Alright, we're almost there. Let's put the last of the nut filling. Spread it over. I'm almost running out for the phyllo. Here comes the last stack of sheet of phyllo that goes underneath the nut filling. Alright, all finished layer. Now you want to take a very sharp knife and cut it into either the diamond or square shapes. You can use your ruler to mark it down any inches before you can cut. For example, I'm going to go around right in the middle while the oven is waiting for it to preheat it. I just already cut into either squares or rectangles. I'm probably sure what I almost didn't get to the squares. Now I'm going to bake these for 45 to 50 minutes in the oven until golden brown and crisp on top. Also, for the second tip, if it starts to brown, you can cover it with aluminum foil to be reminder of the cooking times approximately. I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks. So while we're waiting for baklava in the oven, I'm going to make one for the honey syrup. I'm going to combine into the sauce pot 1 cup of water along with 1 cup of granulated sugar followed by a half a cup of honey. We're going to bring this into a simmer that's about over low heat for 25 minutes. You're going to make sure to stir around so the white sugar will be dissolved. Alright, this is after 45 to 50 minutes. Let's take it out over here. You can see how brown it was. Just keep that warm. I'm going to go check on the honey syrup, how they're looking for. Making sure to stir that occasionally. I'm probably like I use about medium low or something. I'm going to see how that goes with. Here we are. After it simmered on low or medium low heat for 25 minutes, I already removed from the heat. Once that, I just always stir that occasionally. You can go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. To give itself a flavor, I like to put 2 teaspoons of pure lime extract. And I can hear it's kind of sizzling. Just gonna keep one last stir. And that's how you make for the honey syrup. So here's the baklava after it's baked for 45 to 50 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. If I can mention for this, the honey syrup, I cool it slightly on a rack for 10 minutes. Now you can go ahead and pour the cooled honey syrup when it's after bake. Just put this right over here. Alright, so once after you pour the honey syrup, you want to let the baklava set at room temperature for at least 4 hours. I'm going to watch it very carefully. I'm going to see how it goes with. Your baklava may get soggy, so make sure to keep it uncovered for a crispy and sweet dessert. And here's the finished homemade baklava. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Worldwide Campus News and Entertainment. Then ring the bell to see all notifications about the new videos and the latest video.